Okay, let's be real. To channels like Harsh Reality and IckedMel, I'm not even a blip on the radar. In fact, I'm not even a blip on the radar. I know Harsh probably knows of my existence since I do go in his live streams and I do comment on his posts, but IckedMel wouldn't know who I was in the slightest. And of course, Harsh is a big boy. He knows how to stand up for himself, and in fact, he can say this sort of stuff better than I can any day. But I'm still going to make a comment because I'm a little bit disappointed. So I'm going to point out that I think I was probably following IckedMel's channel long before I discovered Harsh Reality. Ironically, I haven't followed IckedMel's channel since he stopped covering Kylie's case, whereas I've continued to follow Harsh Reality right through. And yes, I do have a great deal of respect for Harsh Reality, but I'm not the kind of person that is a sucker. I'm making this video simply because I want to talk about what's right and what's not right. And in my opinion, IckedMel's behaviour towards Harsh is not right. And I think when it comes to someone who has a channel with over 200,000 subscribers, then there comes a time when people do need to call them out when they start being disrespectful to the level that IckedMel is currently being disrespectful. Now, I'm going to point out that my choice to stop following IckedMel had nothing to do with all the accusations that were made towards him around the time of the Kylie Rodney case. I don't buy into all that crap. I've seen the way people try to make people look bad, come up with all this false crap for God knows what reason to create some sort of smear campaign because they don't like them. Quite simply, IckedMel wasn't covering stuff that I was interested in after the Kylie Rodney case. So I got out of the habit of following him. And I've lost track of what he's covering and what he's not covering. This video isn't about any of the allegations that were made about him. This is about his behaviour. Okay, I did start to lose respect for IckedMel when he decided that he was suing Ryan Upchurch and started asking his supporters for money for legal costs. This is someone with 200,000 subscribers. I think he can afford his own legal costs. And like I said, I'm not going to comment on what went on between him and Ryan Upchurch, other than that I believe that he seems to now have an issue with anyone who has any sort of association with Ryan Upchurch, tarred with the same brush, I guess. Well, I can understand, I guess, in a way, that he was feeling a little bit hurt, that he took a hit, and that in order to try and get past his hurt, he wanted to lash out at whoever he could. But what has Harsh done to IckedMel? Okay, I laugh. Harsh does sometimes say things that are slightly irreverent. But that's Harsh, and that's what makes him so brilliant. Does he ever say anything, though, that's downright awful? Anything that is a slur on someone's reputation? I've not heard it. I've heard him make cracks about people when they do dumb things or say dumb things. And to be honest, usually they deserve it. You probably saw the short that I recently put out where he made a comment about old Jeff, and I thought it was quite a good comment. So I turned it into a short. But at the end of the day, Harsh is always respectful. He never, from what I've seen, has stooped down to a level of becoming petty. I'm not going to read these comments that were made by IckedMel, but basically I stumbled across them when I was on X looking for something else. And I was absolutely astonished. As a bystander with no involvement in this whatsoever, I'm going to call it the way I see it. First of all, we all know that IckedMel is butthurt because of what went on between him and Ryan. Maybe he's justified in feeling upset. Possibly. Not my fight. I'm not going there. But how does that come into what's going on here with IckedMel's comments about Harsh? Okay, Harsh calls it as he sees it. He will call anyone out. He will say if he disagrees with you, and he'll say if you're being a butthead or if you're acting like you're butthurt. And I know he has called IckedMel out in the past. You know what? He's also called out Ryan in the past. Him and Ryan aren't best buds like IckedMel seems to think. Harsh is his own man. Just go and listen to him. Listen to just one of his videos, and you'll see that he's not worried about what popular opinion is. He's there to tell you what Harsh's opinion is. Sometimes I disagree with him, but I don't jump up and down and make a fuss over it. I just don't leave a comment. Normally, I choose to ignore when there's other stuff going down between different creators that has nothing to do with me. But, like I said, I'm disappointed. Someone who has 200,000 followers has a responsibility, in my opinion, to act like a decent person. And the comments that I came across on X that were made by IckedMel with regards to harsh reality were not the comments of a decent person. They were crass, they were uncalled for, they were disrespectful. And of course, coming from someone who has double the subscribers of harsh reality, they've also now tainted the opinions of people who've probably never even listened to Harsh's channel, who know nothing about harsh reality and are now being led by this creator because they're being told this is what this person is like. I personally find this kind of language extremely offensive, and honestly, I will not be listening to IckedMel again in future. I can't have respect for someone who treats other creators in the way that he is doing so with Harsh. And I know that in this instance, my opinion means nothing. I'm this itty bitty channel with very little influence. This is certainly not going to be heard by 200,000 people. But I'm having my say because I believe in standing up for decency and common, simple respect. So, right now, yes, I guess I am standing up for Harsh. But I'm standing up for Harsh because I don't agree with anybody using the kind of language that IckedMel has chosen to use talking about Harsh. And yeah, I will say, there are some creators that Harsh supports that I don't have time for. I've not really listened to them. I only know of them and have heard of some of their comments and some of the ways they've treated people. But that doesn't have any bearing on the way I treat Harsh or the way I talk about Harsh. So IckedMel, big deal if Harsh wants to speak on Ryan in a positive manner. Why should it matter who he speaks about in a positive manner? He still doesn't deserve to be spoken about in the way that you've spoken about him.